Hey Tiger fans, this is Xavier Hill, offensive lineman for the Tigers, and this is my 901 punt anthem. Coach Cramsey, he's a straightforward coach. You know, he tells you when you're right, he tells you when you're wrong. He also tells you he loves you. So I mean, it, even when you are wrong. So like comparatively to some of my old coaches, you know, he's a player's coach for sure, and I like that about him. Size, let's go Parker Peterson since he's a giant. Um, Pass blocking, let's go me. Athleticism, let's also go me. Um, Run blocking, let's go Chris Adams. Nastiness, let's also go Chris because he's pretty nasty. And football IQ, let's go Jonah Gamble. I'll take Trent Williams' power/aggression just because that's a part of my game. I feel like I need to work on and aggression, and he's an elite athlete. So having his power/explosiveness would just be, you know, great. Probably Jaden Daniels, JD5. And I played with him my last year at LSU, so having and y'all see what he's doing in the league as a rookie. So I feel like that would I feel like I want to block for him. I'd probably say tight end because sometimes they have to do the same job that I do, and they're 80 to 100 pounds lighter, and when they have to, and then they also have to do the job of a receiver who's 50 pounds lighter than them. So just being able for them to be able to memorize both the blocking scheme, routes, and everything in between, that's a pretty underrated thing. I feel like the people don't like pick up on when watching. Sometimes when I say sometimes when things aren't going the offense's way, it's not always on the line. But they might see a sack happen and they might have just brought too many and we couldn't pick them all up or something. But then everybody just gets to blame in the O line. But just some fans who don't really know football, just understanding what's going on all the time. I probably say that's the hardest part about being an offensive line. Yeah, having to move a 300-pound person who can move good isn't very easy. But start off with like starting off with breakfast in season. We'll come up, have a breakfast buffet. Typically, I eat like some fruit, some bacon, and probably some either hash browns or eggs, depending on the day. And then after practice in the morning, I might get lunch. Sometimes it's hard for me to eat after practice, but I might get lunch at the facility. If not, I'll just go cook something at home. That could range from anything. And then after meetings later on that day, I usually just grab whatever's at the facility. That can be anything from, pizza to chicken to fish, a whole bunch of different things. Yeah, definitely. It definitely changes because, when you're working out and stuff for off season, you want to eat based on your workouts. You want to get more protein, stay away from less carbs because, you're trying to build muscle and everything like that. So it definitely changes. It gets a little healthier than off season. It's supposed to. It don't always be like that. See, I'm a big basketball guy. Like I love, like if I could play college basketball, I'd do that too. But so I would probably eat with Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James. I probably want to have dinner with them. Just being able to sit at the table just enough. I wouldn't even ask them questions. Just hear the conversations. Uh, just be around some of my favorite athletes of all time. Probably nothing too weird, just maybe getting dressed in a certain order the same way every single time or eating the same dinner. But I had one teammate that wore the same underwear every game of the season. So I guess that's the weirdest thing I've seen somebody do as far as a superstition. Pre-game ritual. I don't know. I probably don't have one, honestly. Like, I try to keep it, routine, but honestly, I just do whatever comes to mind. Uh, just whatever. I'll say the one thing I do before we go out is I just sit there and just breathe. Like I just calm my nerves a little bit because sometimes your feelings can get up or down depending on like what's happening, who you're playing, or I wouldn't say who you're playing, but just what's going on in your world outside of football, things you think about. So I say just sitting there breathing and just getting my head level is one thing I always do. My favorite thing is when the band starts playing as we're walking through the big inflatable tunnel. I like hearing the Memphis theme song. It kind of like gets me excited, and then shaking hands on the Tiger Walk. That's probably my favorite thing about game there. Probably Jonah Gamble. He was this past season. Me and him just have connected since I've got to Memphis. So with me and him just always on the same page, whether it's some we peep or just anything. So I feel like me and him are always like on the same page. So me and him are pretty funny. See, I can't really hear what the defense does all the time, but I know at practice, I know for sure Greg Rubin was a pretty funny trash talker, good trash talker. He always just brought a level of, he just brought that like, I don't know. He knew how to get you out your comfort zone, out your headspace for sure. So I probably say Greg was at practice, but in game, the funniest trash talk I probably heard. I probably couldn't even say it on the interview. I had to leave it at that. There is a offensive line group chat, but Coach Myers probably the most active. We don't really do too much talking. There'll be the occasional trolling in there, but usually we just, I don't know, we're offensive line guys, so we're more chill than anything. So I'd probably say doesn't really get too active in the group chat. So if it's a late game, it's always Waffle House. If it's an earlier game, I go to this place in Olive Branch called Urban Fusion. It's an Asian restaurant. I've been going there since I've been in high school, so I just go there and eat. If not, it's Waffle House if it's a away game or a late game. There's nothing in particular I want, but I feel like if he was to get his offensive line a gift, I feel like he'd get us like matching like jackets or something, like just something like some nice jackets or like something like that, just to symbolize us as a unit. I'd probably say. During the game, this was probably before we got the sideline view like cameras, so we can replay the plays. But it definitely was. If the center comes up to you and says he made the call, he made the call. No matter if he's wrong or right, the center probably saved your butt a few times during the game. So if he needs one during the game, it was definitely just to, let him have it. Like if he was wrong, then the coach won't know till after the game. It's one of those type of things. Usually I'm asleep, so if I'm ever late, I'm asleep always. So that's my only excuse. I'm not late unless I oversleep. Zero. I don't have no faith in myself. Maybe if we're at the 2 and I get a good kick, but if I had to kick 10 kicks, I'd probably make 1. I can't kick them. Hey Tiger fans, thank you for watching my 901 for interview. Go Tigers, go.